Native American Myths and Legends. Stone Boy, Brule Sioux. Depending on the individual storyteller, the Sioux legend of Stone Boy takes many different forms. The following version from the Cheyenne River Reservation was heard by Henry Crow Dog around 1910. He was a child listening to the storytellers at the campfire. Back in the great days of the Indians, a maiden and her 5 brothers lived together. People in those times had to look for food. It was their main occupation. So while the sister cooked and made clothes, the brothers spent their days hunting. It happened once that this family moved their teepee to the bottom of a canyon. It was a strange, silent place, but there was water in a creek and the hunting was good. The canyon was cool in the summer and shielded from wind in the winter. Still, when the brothers went out hunting, the girl was always waiting for them, waiting and listening. She heard noises. Often she thought they were footsteps, but when she looked outside, no one was there. Then one evening, only 4 of the 5 brothers came back from hunting. They and the sister stayed awake all night, wondering what could have happened to the other. The next day, when the men went hunting, only 3 returned. Again, they and the sister stayed awake, wondering. The next evening, only 2 came home, and they and the girl were afraid. In those early days, the Indians had no sacred ceremonies or prayers to guide them, so it was hard for the maiden and her 2 brothers to watch through the night in that ghostly place. Again, the brothers went out in the morning, and only a single one returned at night. Now, the girl cried and begged him to stay home, but they had to eat, and so in the morning, her last and youngest brother, whom she loved best of all, went out to hunt. Like the others, he did not come back. Now, no one would bring the maiden food or water to protect her. Weeping, the girl left the canyon and climbed to the top of a hill. She wanted to die, but did not know how to. Then she saw a round pebble lying on the ground. Thinking that it would kill her, she picked it up and swallowed it. With peace in her heart, the maiden went back to the teepee. She drank some water and felt a stirring inside her, as if the rock were telling her not to worry. She was comforted, though she could not sleep for missing her brothers. The next day, she had nothing left to eat except some pemmican and berries. She meant to eat them and drink water from the creek, but she found she wasn't hungry. She felt as if she had been to a feast and walked around singing to herself. The following day, she was happy in a way she had never been before. On the 4th day that the girl had been alone, she felt pain. Now the end comes, she thought. Now I die. She didn't mind, but instead of dying, she gave birth to a little boy. What will I do with this child? She wondered. How did it come? It must be that stone I swallowed. The child was strong, with shining eyes. Though the girl felt weak for a while, she had to keep going to care for the new life, her son. She named him Ian Hockshee, Stone Boy, and wrapped him in her brother's clothes. Day after day he grew, 10 times faster than ordinary infants, and with a more perfect body. The mother knew that her baby had great powers. One day, when he was playing outside the teepee, he made a bow and arrows all on his own. Looking at his flint arrowhead, the mother wondered how he had done it. Maybe he knows that he was a stone and I swallowed him, she thought. He must have a rock nature. The baby grew so fast that he was soon walking. His hair became long, and as he matured, his mother became afraid that she would lose him, as she had lost her brothers. She cried often, and though he did not ask why, he seemed to know. Very soon, he was big enough to go hunting, and when she saw this, his mother wept more than ever. Stone Boy came into the teepee. "Mother, don't cry," he said. "You used to have 5 uncles," she said, "but they went out hunting one after another. They did not come back. and she told him about his birth, how she had gone to the top of the hill and swallowed a stone, and how she had felt something moving inside her. "I know," he said, "and I am going to look for your brothers, my uncles." "But if you don't return," she sobbed, "what will I do?" "I will come back," he told her. "I will come back with my uncles. Stay in the teepee until I do." So the next morning, Ian Hoxie started walking and watching. He kept on till dusk, when he found a good place to sleep. He wandered for 4 days, and on the evening of the 4th day, he smelled smoke. Ian Hoxie, the stone boy, he followed the smell. It led him to a teepee with smoke coming from its smoke hole. This teepee was ugly and ramshackle. Inside, Ian Hoxie could see an old woman who was ugly too. She watched him pass, and, calling him over, invited him to eat and stay the night. Stoneboy went into the teepee, though he was uneasy in his mind and a little timid. He looked around and saw 5 big bundles, propped up on end, leaning against the teepee wall. And he wondered. The old woman was cooking some meat. When it was done, he ate it, though it didn't taste good. Later, she fixed a dirty old buffalo robe for him to sleep on, but he sensed danger and felt wide awake. "I have a backache," the woman said. "Before you go to sleep, I wish you would rub it for me by walking up and down my back. I am old and alone, and I have nobody to help with my pain." She lay down, and Stoneboy began walking on her back. As he did, he felt something sticking up under her buckskin robe, something sharp, like a knife or a needle or the point of a spear. "Maybe she used this sharp tool to kill my uncles," he thought. "Maybe she put poison from a snake on its point. Yes, that must be so." Ian Hoxie, having pondered, jumped high in the air, as high as he could, and came down on that old woman's back with a crash. He jumped and jumped until he was exhausted and the hag was lying dead with a broken back. Then Ian Hoxie walked over to the big bundles, which were wrapped in animal hides and lashed together with rawhide thongs. He unwrapped them and found 5 men, dead and dried like jerked meat, hardly human-looking. "These must be my uncles," he thought, but he didn't know how to bring them back to life. Outside the ugly teepee was a heap of rocks, round, gray stones. He found that they were talking and that he could understand them. "Ian Hoxie, stone boy, you are one of us. You come from us. You come from Tunka. You come from Ian. Listen. Pay attention." Following their instructions, he built a little dome-like hut out of bent willow sticks. He covered it with the old woman's buffalo robes and put the 5 dead, dried-up humans inside. Out in the open, he built a big fire. He set the rocks right in the flames, picked up the old woman, and threw her in to burn up. After the rocks glowed red-hot, Stoneboy found a deer antler and used it to carry them, one by one, into the little hut he had made. He picked up the old woman's water bag, a buffalo bladder decorated with quillwork, and filled it with water. He drew its rawhide tight and took it inside too. Then he placed the dried humans around him in a circle. Ian Hoxie closed the entrance of his little lodge with a flap of buffalo robe so that no air could escape or enter. Pouring water from the bag over them, he thanked the rocks, saying, "You brought me here." 4 times he poured the water, 4 times he opened the flap and closed it. Always he spoke to the rocks, and they to him. As he poured, the little lodge filled with steam so that he could see nothing but the white mist in the darkness. When he poured water a 2nd time, he sensed a stirring. When he poured the 3rd time, he began to sing. And when he poured the 4th time, those dead, dried-up things also began to sing and talk. "I believe they have come to life," thought Ian Hoxie, the stone boy. "Now I want to see my uncles." He opened the flap for the last time, watching the steam flow out and rise into the sky as a feathery cloud. The bonfire and the moonlight both shone into the little sweat lodge, and by their light he saw 5 good-looking young men sitting inside. He said, "Ho Lekshi, you must be my uncles." They smiled and laughed, happy to be alive again. Ian Hakshi said, "This is what my mother, your sister, wanted. This is what she wished for." He also told them, "The rock saved me, and now it has saved you. Ian, Tunka, rock, Tunka, Ian, Tunkashila, the grandfather spirit. We will learn to worship. This little lodge, these rocks, the water, the fire, these are sacred. These we will use from now on as we have done here for the first time, for purification, for life, for Wikashani, for health. All this has been given to us so that we may live. We shall be a tribe." Told by Henry Crowdog, February 26, 1968, at Rosebud, South Dakota, and recorded by Richard Erdos. Henry Crowdog is a full-blooded Sioux elder with a majestic face, craggy as the Black Hills themselves. He is the grandson of the famous Crowdog, a chief warrior and leader of the Ghost Dancers. The Crowdog once voluntarily drove 150 miles to his own hanging for killing his rival, Chief Spotted Tail, only to be freed on orders of the Supreme Court, which ruled that the federal law had no jurisdiction on an Indian reservation. The end.